had an empty lot to the side of my house. If I wanted the grass to stay green in the hot summer, I'd have to waste city water and use fertilizers. I wanted to learn how to do something useful with the space. Okay, this first part is about the sun. It's sun, water, soil. Okay, this whole thing is laid out from north to south. Using this pole bean bed as an example. With this north-south orientation, the sun travels this way. If the bed was planted in this direction, the sun would have this route. This pole bean would cast a shadow on this pole bean, and so on. With having the bed run north and south, more sunlight falls on this side. Obviously, I don't have a lot of pole beans yet, but I do have 4. This front part is kind of close to the road, but it's the only area of the yard that gets full sun. The rest of the garden gets shade by trees some of the time. Okay, that's the sun. What about the water? Well, this whole thing is supposed to be sort of a collection system for water and kind of a holding tank. This bed here is about 3 feet deep. It goes all the way around. Using hugelkultur techniques, logs and limbs are placed deep in the ground. As the wood decomposes under the ground, it becomes very porous. When we get the massive rains here in East Texas, it seeps down into the deep layers. Water soaks up into the porous, decomposing wood and stores it. This is from a few months ago after a rain. It actually acts like a sponge. Deep in the beds, the logs and limbs are storing water for the future. The idea is that during June, July, and August here in East Texas, when we have drought-like conditions, the water that was stored in the wood will be released back into the soil. With this design, when it rains, the water stays here. This area is about 2 feet deep. The pathways are about 6 inches deep. The middle bed is about 2 feet deep. This has the wood chips and this has the mulch. So when it rains, it just seeps down into the soil. It doesn't run off. Still talking about water. This whole property from here to here is on contour. It's hard to see. But from up there all the way to down here, I bet it's about a 3 feet drop. From here to here is quite a bit of a slope. Water collects right here and it will actually stand right here. I wish I didn't have the contrasting sun right now, but anyway, water really collects right here. And this part is very, opening, very porous. This is a berm. And the water will drain through here and go in to this part of the garden. And again, this one too is about 2 feet deep. There's logs way deep down inside, and hopefully it will store water also. Okay, so that's water and sun. Now for the soil. So what I've learned is that you take care of the soil. You feed the soil. You don't really feed the plants. You take care of the soil. You build the soil structure. There's all kinds of little guys living in there that will take care of your soil. This bed right here was having a lot of trouble. It kept drying out. Another thing I learned is the surface of the soil should never be exposed to the sunlight. It dries it out. This is the leaves from last year. I put a thick layer on top. It hasn't rained in about 2 weeks. And if you just go down, just 1 inch, it's moist right there. Another thing I learned about soil, because I dug out so much, it's like 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. There's all the dirt over there. Actually, I planted some things in it, but I took all the dirt out of here. So I had to go buy dirt. So I bought compost and composted manure. This area I've kind of worked on, but this is store-bought stuff. And every little guy is having troubles. It's a tomato plant. It's just having so much trouble. I don't think there's any life in that stuff. I think they have to pasteurize it. They have to heat it up to put it in the bags. The most amazing thing for your plants that I have found is what lives here in the yard anyway. Underneath the leaves is worm castings. The worms just do it for you. That little guy right there. Hi, thank you. Thank you for working. This right here is, I don't even know all the stuff that's in it, but there is a tremendous amount of life in this stuff. I'm still learning. This is what goes into the garden. But amazingly, you don't have to, it's good to put it in there now as I'm establishing the thing. But what happens over time is you put your leaves back in the garden and that stuff just starts growing in there anyway.